All right, one more word problem. So this is a triangle question. It says Pittsburgh is 318 miles from New York City. So here's Pittsburgh. Here's NYC. Um, New York City is 206 miles from Washington, D.C. Called W. Um, one that's also 193 miles from Pittsburgh. So let's start filling this in. 318, 206, 193. So we have a triangle. So this is going to be solvable because the question is, what is the angle formed between Pittsburgh and New York City? So Pittsburgh and New York City, we'll call it that. Oh, if you're in Washington, D.C., no. I read that wrong. My mistake. So that's going to happen. So I'm glad that happened. It says if you are in Washington, D.C., so you're here, what is the angle formed between Pittsburgh and New York City? So we're looking for this angle. Here's Pittsburgh. Here's New York City. So this is going to be a law of cosines because we don't have any angles. So we don't have any relationship between an angle and an opposite side, which we need. So it is law of cosines. So we're going to look for capital W. So if I'm forming my law of cosines equation, we start out with little w, 318, equals, little w squared, equals p squared plus n squared minus 2pn cosine of big W. So I'm just using letters related to what I'm given, but it's the same thing. A squared equals b squared plus c squared minus bc cosine of minus 2bc cosine of a. Anyhow, you don't even have to use letters. Just fill in uh, the numbers based off the relationships. So here we go. W squared is 318 squared. So I would say this one squared equals this one squared plus this one squared. It doesn't matter what the order is. Minus 2 times this times this. So again, I'm really not interested in what letters I called them, times the cosine of W. So bad planning on my part as usual. Let's move this stuff over a little bit. Times the cosine of W. Now we have to solve. So I'm going to take my calculator out. This is some big numbers here. And I'm going to type in, first of all, I am in degree mode. So I'll type in 318 squared. And I'm going to subtract the 193 squared. And then I'm going to subtract the 206 squared, just to get rid of all that stuff. The 2 times 193 times 206 has to be kind of kept together because it's with the cosine. It's multiplied by the cosine. So this is what I have so far. 21,439 equals negative 2 times 193 times 206 times cosine of W. Then I'm going to divide the left-hand side by all of this. So it's already on your calculator. So just hit divide, and in parentheses, the negative 2 times 193 times 206. And that's going to be negative 0.269. Don't worry about the number of decimal places on that because we're going to use what the number in our calculator. So since I have cosine of W equals that, W would equal the inverse cosine of that. And I'm just going to, again, since it's on my calculator, the inverse cosine of that, which is this, so that's going to be a really accurate answer, is 105.64. Remember, that's an angle, so degrees. And that's the angle between Pittsburgh and New York City from Washington, D.C. And that's it.